In today's world, I see two major trends that are big drivers for individual leaders and organizations. And I'd say the first one is what's happening in the digital world. That digital technology is, everything from when you look at, mobile phones to sensors to big data to algorithms of that information to artificial intelligence to, you name it. It's like all of it is exponentially accelerating. It's overwhelming organizations often, and it's the integration of all of that stuff that's causing disruptions in the technology space. So there's that going on. And then the second one is that you see organizations now, really the unit of analysis of an organization is no longer that corporation or that individual organization. It's really the ecosystem that people are playing in. So it's a partnership of networks, and that is also causing a disruption. A good example of that is a recent partnership of CVS and Aetna in healthcare. That is going to change how hospitals function, how healthcare is delivered, all of those things. And that's just one of many. But it's like the world has changed. So I think those two drivers are really creating a new capability skill set for leaders. And what I would call that is you have to become an adaptive leader today. And what I mean by that is that you have to be constantly scanning your environment, noticing those trends, those patterns, what's happening. Then you have to make strategic choices. You have to, and without all the information, it's like the world keeps moving, so you have to make the best strategic choice that you can, and then you have to, really act on that and really execute. And execute today with speed. You have to accelerate what you're doing so that you get out there and you're a player in the market and not way behind the ball, because the environment is just so fast moving and dynamic. And I think when you put all of that together, it's a tremendous challenge for leaders today in organizations, and for the capacity of an organization to actually stay up with those two kinds of major changes going on. If you look at the potential of what organizations can do, there's a design element to how do you constantly really relook at yourself as an organization, change, adapt, but also build the capacity as leaders and as individuals to have a different kind of mindset about it. It's no longer, you can't just, think that what you're going to do for the next 5 years is what you're going to do. It's like you have to think dynamically and be very, again, it goes back to being a learner, a very active learner, staying afresh, engaging lots of members of your team, because that inclusion, everybody's seeing different pieces out there. And when you put all of that together in an organization, it really creates the excitement, the ownership. We're in it together to move forward. And it can be fun and creative, or if you don't approach it that way, it can be very stressful and frightening. So it's what you embrace. Do you embrace the challenge, or do you embrace the fear? And how do you go from there? So, working with organizations around that and leaders is very exciting to me.